Okay, so this is not really the final, but it's 80% of what data preparation and customer is supposed to do. So once again, I'm going to do a brief overview. We need the customer to prepare all this data. Uh, Census report, get 2019 to present, and then once you get that in one file, which is one worksheet, this is an example of all the data from 1/1/19 to present. It has 2020 first, then it has 2019 data like that. So it's all there. So 2019 to present, we have all the data. This data for this customer is ending 9/25, which is okay. So we will, pretend today is September 25th, even though it's not, but for sake of training, this data is as of September 25th. So we have, this is the beginning part. Then we create an employee list, which is all the employees that have ever worked for this company. Then people who are employed today, which is the last payroll date, what is their current wage or current hourly rate. We have a pivot table, many different ones. This is like quarter one. Quarter one is basically 1/1/20 to March 31, 2020. Anybody who's in that. So we have how many who worked for the company in those dates, how many hours did they work, and how many how much did they receive, how much money did they get. In February 15th date, how much did they how many hours did they work and how much did they get paid. Look back 2020 period, how many hours did they work, how much money did they receive. 2019 period, how many hours did they work. So look, if you notice the employee count, the number of employees keeps changing because in 2019 there were different number of people. Some maybe like Laurie Alexander was there in 2019 and is there in 2020, which is okay. But this other person, Shuma Akhtar, is not there in 2019. So that means this person started working at least after June of 2019. So similarly, so if you notice, I created a lot of different pivot tables. So this is quarter one, safe harbor period, forgiveness period, the 8-week forgiveness period, 24-week forgiveness period, on and on and on. So I have created a lot of different pivot tables. 24, and this is where we're finally going. We have a list of everyone, which is from the for employee list that we prepared. Take all these 30 people. If you look at my mouse, we have 30 people here. Where we're going, our final output, final calculation, we have the all 30 people pasted here. So here also, I have all 30 people pasted here, but not all have data for all. Like this employee Joseph, this is blank. By the way, you can copy my formulas that I've done. You can use those, but essentially what I'm saying is Joseph Darcanti did not work week of February 15th period. And if you notice, there's a lot of blank. So, but he did work in quarter one, which to me, it means the person started after February 15th. So we can actually, look at the payroll summary. We will find this person started working for the company after the February 15th period because we do see some hours in quarter one. We do see hours in payroll for forgiveness period. So essentially, from all those pivot tables I created, this is the data that was pasted. After this is done, for each period, when I say each period, I mean look back 2020, look back 2019, quarter one, safe harbor, 8-week alternate, 24-week alternate. For each of those periods, we need to calculate two different FTE counts based on two FTE methods. Just in this example, I've only done one. So let me show you what I did. So in this 24 weeks, this person worked 606 hours. So I said, okay, 606 hours. We are going to calculate based on 24 weeks. Even though this data is as of September 25th, the employer actually might be in week number 20, but we are calculating FTE count based on 24 weeks. So we said, okay, how many average hours per week did each person work? Then there's a FTE1 method, which is this. It basically says an employee is either 1 or 0.5. What is the formula? Basically, if they work 40 or more hours, I will call them 1. Otherwise, I will call them 0.5. So second one is the fraction method. We do, to the 1 decimal point, we just divide it by 40 to calculate FTE method 2. So if you notice, in the 24 weeks forgiveness period, the company employed 10 people. 10 FTE count is the better answer using FTE method 1. But in FTE method 2, they employed 10.4 FTEs. So I have done this only for one period, but you can see you are supposed to do this for a customer who has to do this application by hand. You have to do it for 8 weeks, the forgiveness period. You have to do it for safe harbor. You have to do this FTE counts for all of them. Where are we going with all of this? You know, if they were not using our software, if they were using they were trying to do this application by hand, they would need to do something like this. So in our system, if we did not have Excel import, they would just, put in employee name and start putting all of this by hand. Did this person receive 100K or more in 2019? What is the current rate? How many hours did they work in 2009, February 15th period, etc., etc. If you notice, there's a lot of information they're supposed to fill. So now you can see how tedious this effort is.